Hi, this is Abby with Happy Little Mystic, and welcome back to your free self-paced tarot course. In today's lesson, we'll be taking a deep dive into each of the 2 cards in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. If you've missed any of our other tarot lessons so far, you can check out the playlist link in the description box below. And if you're following along with our tarot workbook, if you open up to the Minor Arcana section, you will find a place to record all the information needed to fully understand each of the 2 cards. Okay, let's get started. The first thing we'll notice when we take a look at the 2 of Wands is we have a well-dressed man here. He's standing on top of a castle wall holding a globe in one hand and a wand in the other, while another wand is bolted securely behind him. He has a vast landscape before him, mountains, water, and this fertile land. It's symbolizing unrealized potential and the power of foresight. So the globe is representing his awareness of the wider world and his readiness to expand beyond that familiar territory. Yet his posture here does show his hesitation. He hasn't stepped beyond the castle walls yet. It's this moment between inspiration and action, this vision and manifestation. Moving over to the Zodiac sign section, the astrology in this card is Mars and Aries. As we know, the wands are associated with our fire signs. So we have, in this case, Aries being represented. This card is representing this bold pioneer energy, that Aries energy, and it speaks of courage, enterprise, and the urge to expand one's influence, but also with this self-awareness to strategize before acting. If you ask a yes or no question and the 2 of Wands shows up, the answer is going to be yes, but it does require action. The potential is there, but realization depends on moving forward. The numerology for the 2 of Wands is the number 2, and that represents balance, duality, and choice. So here, it's this balance between staying safe and venturing out, the moment where vision meets that hesitation. If the 2 of Wands shows up in the upright position, the keywords are going to be planning, strategy, vision, future goals, taking initiative, long-term thinking, and control and direction. If the 2 of Wands shows up in the reverse and you're choosing to read reversals, the keywords are going to be fear of risk, lack of planning, playing it safe, indecision, unused potential, and this delayed success. If the 2 of Wands shows up in a career or finance reading, the upright meaning is all about expansion, global opportunities, and this entrepreneurship. You're envisioning success and mapping your next move if this card shows up. So this could mean planning a business, travel for work, or stepping into leadership. If it shows up in the reverse in a career or finance reading, this could mean a fear of failure or leaving your comfort zone. It's a strong vision not followed through, perhaps. It could also indicate overanalysis or staying in an unfulfilling situation. If the 2 of Wands shows up in a love or romance reading, the upright meaning is considering a relationship's long-term future or assessing compatibility. This could indicate distance relationships or deciding to take that next move. If it shows up in the reverse, we have this blockage of the energy, so a fear of vulnerability, this indecision about commitment, or keeping one foot in and one foot out. Moving over to the connections to other cards section, the 2 of Wands is connected to the High Priestess, which is also card number 2. Both involve waiting and internal reflection before acting. Where the High Priestess waits for inner knowing, the 2 of Wands waits for the courage to act on a vision. I like the symbolism here with the 2 pillars and then the 2 wands, with both figures in between. Now we're going to take a look at how the 2 of Wands shows up in some other tarot decks that I have. The first one we'll look at is the Wild Reflections Tarot deck. And in this deck, the 2 of Wands is depicted by a woman here leaning against a tree, holding a staff. She is off of her bike. She has the other wand laying down here. She's also dropped her bag. So she's definitely in this place of hesitation. She's looking out over the distance, over the valley, perhaps contemplating her next move. So she's definitely in that in-between place. I love how they put the globe up here, almost like this disco ball. Very interesting. The next deck I have is by Radleigh Valentine, and it's the Angel Tarot cards. In this deck, the Two of Wands is known as the Two of Fire. I like how we have the two figures in this card, both holding a wand, and then they have a dragon here with them. It says here at the bottom, you've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts continue to move forward. So both these figures look as if they're in this new beginning, this new relationship, and this planning phase. And finally, our last deck is also from Radleigh Valentine. It's the Guardian Angel Messages Tarot. And in this deck, we also have the Two of Fire. I like, again, how we have the two people sitting here. It says planning, partnering, and progress. They're both holding the wand or the staff, and they're looking out over the valleys, very similar to that of the original card. It's showing that partnership that comes with the number 2. Very nice. Okay, so that's what I have for the Two of Wands. In our next section, we'll be looking at the Two of Cups. If you're following along in our workbook, you can go ahead and turn to the Two of Cups section. The first thing we'll notice when we look at the Two of Cups is that we have a man and a woman here. They're standing facing one another and each offering a cup. Between them rises the caduceus of Hermes, and it's crowned with this lion's head. This is a symbol of healing, union, and strength through balance. The exchange of cups reflects this mutual giving and emotional equality. The lion's head represents passion and vitality within this connection, while the caduceus points to divine blessing or spiritual harmony. Moving over to the zodiac sign section, as a water sign, the Two of Cups is related to the sign of Cancer. It's representing Venus in Cancer and this deeply nurturing, affectionate energy. It's about emotional bonds, shared comfort, and love that feels like home. If you ask a yes or no question and the Two of Cups shows up, the answer is yes. And it's symbolizing this emotional or relational harmony is present or forming. The numerology for the Two of Cups is the number 2. And the 2 in this card emphasizes the connection, duality, and reflection through another. So it's this balance between giving and receiving love. If the Two of Cups shows up in the upright position, the keywords are going to be union, partnership, mutual attraction, emotional give and take, shared feelings, and a healing relationship. If the Two of Cups shows up in the reverse and you're choosing to read reversals, the keywords are going to be disconnection, miscommunication, emotional imbalance, a one-sided love, and possibly a breakup or distance between a relationship. In a career or finance reading, if the Two of Cups shows up in the upright position, this could indicate partnership, collaboration, or this harmonious work environment. This is excellent for contracts or agreements formed on trust. If it shows up in the reverse in a career reading, then this could indicate tension or imbalance between partners or coworkers, and it could be this lack of cooperation or mutual respect. If the Two of Wands shows up in a love or romance reading in the upright position, this is going to mean a soulmate type connection, this new love or emotional renewal. This could indicate deep empathy and unity. If it shows up in the reverse in a love or romance reading, this could indicate distance or misunderstanding, emotional withdrawal, or difficulty seeing eye to eye. Moving over to the connections to other cards section, the Two of Wands is related to the Lovers card in our major arcana. The Two of Cups is representing the initial spark in exchange, while the Lovers shows the full commitment and that moral choice that follows. And I like how they incorporated the laurel leaves here and the red buds here. Also the lion head and the angel wings, they have that same sort of look to them. Now we're going to look at how some of the other decks show the Two of Cups. We'll start with our Wild Reflections Tarot deck. In this deck, we have a man and a woman again, and they are exchanging something, but instead of cups, it is shells. I love how they have the water here present for our water element and this bright sunrise or sunset on the horizon. This definitely shows this magical spark between them. And their body language here shows this mutual respect and this mirroring. In our next deck, I have the Guardian Angel Messages Tarot. And in this deck, again, we have our man and woman. It is the Two of Water. It says partnership, commitment, and reconciliation. These two people have come together and are sharing their cups. I like how the ray of sunshine, this glistening, is coming off of them, showing that bit of magic between one another. And then we have our Angel Tarot deck by Radleigh Valentine. And in this one, the Two of Water shows two mermaids. And if we remember back to the Ace card, we had that single mermaid coming down to get the cup at the bottom. So now this whale or dolphin here, I think it's a whale, is slightly larger than in the first and the Ace card. We have two cups, two mermaids. It says a relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, and the positive resolution of a conflict. We have our water here present. And it looks as if they have a shared mission here on their faces. They're working together in that partnership. Very nice. So that's all I have for the Two of Cups. In our next section, we'll be going over the Two of Swords. If you're following along in our tarot workbook, you can go ahead and turn to the Swords section, and you'll find a place to record all the information needed for the Two of Swords. The first thing we'll notice when we look at the imagery of this card is we have a blindfolded woman here sitting in the center. It is nighttime. We have the moon here. She's holding two cross swords over her chest. And this is symbolizing a stalemate or guarded emotion. Behind her, we have the calm waters and a crescent moon. And this is representing intuition and the subconscious. The blindfold is showing us that logic alone can't resolve this. The heart or intuition must be engaged. We have all that water back here to show us that. It's the calm before clarity. It's this mental crossroads where neither option feels easy. The zodiac sign associated with the Two of Swords is Libra, and the astrology is Moon in Libra. It represents this emotional struggle to maintain peace and balance, even when truth feels uncomfortable. So the moon in Libra embodies fairness, but it can become indecisive. And remember, our Libra sign is all about the balanced scales. If you've asked a yes or no question and the Two of Swords shows up, the answer is actually unclear. It comes out as a maybe. So it can indicate indecision or the need for more insight before acting. The numerology for the Two of Swords is the number 2. It represents duality and balance in the mental realm, remembering that our swords is our mental suit. It's reflecting this tug of war between logic and emotion, or between two equally viable paths. If the Two of Swords shows up in the upright position, the keywords are going to be indecision, stalemate, difficult choice, avoidance, peacekeeping, and inner conflict. If the Two of Swords shows up in the reverse and you're choosing to read reversals, the keywords are going to be overwhelm, emotional indecision, confusion, clarity is emerging, and truth is revealed. So this is one of those cards you actually wouldn't mind if it showed up in the reverse, because it is indicating that you have revealed the truth or have clarity about something. If the Two of Swords shows up in a career or finance reading, the upright position is going to indicate weighing two offers or career paths, avoiding decisions due to fear of conflict. It could also indicate staying neutral or detached. If it shows up in the reverse in a career or finance reading, then it's going to indicate clarity after indecision. Perhaps you are feeling pressured into a choice. And it could also indicate this possible imbalance at work. If the Two of Swords shows up in a love or romance reading, the upright position is going to mean emotional distance or hesitation to open up. It could also indicate choosing between two people or struggling with vulnerability. If it shows up in the reverse in a love or romance reading, this could indicate clarity or confrontation after silence. It could also mean tension is released through truth or decision. Moving over to the connections to other cards section, the Two of Swords is directly connected to our Justice card. Justice is also tied to the zodiac sign of Libra. So both are dealing with fairness, truth, and discernment. The Two of Swords represents the moment before justice. So this uncertainty before clarity. Now we'll take a look at how the Two of Swords shows up in some other decks that I have. The first deck is our Guardian Angel Messages Tarot by Radleigh Valentine. In this deck, our Two of Swords is known as Two of Air. It's our air element. We do have two swords here, and this person walking a wintry path through them. It says indecision, avoidance, and confusion. I like how they use the wintry path here. It's not necessarily safe, but there are two options, and this person is being asked to decide which path they will take. They may be confused, but also they have to be careful because of this icy terrain. Our next deck we have is the Wild Reflections Tarot deck. In this deck, the Two of Swords is represented by this woman here who is blindfolded, and without the sword, she's holding her bow and arrow. She has two arrows to shoot, and she can't really see where she's shooting the arrow. So she's going to have to go within and think and find that mental clarity first. Very nice. And then finally, we have Radleigh Valentine's Angel Tarot cards. And in this deck, the Two of Air is represented by two unicorns with their swords or spears here. And they're crossed just like we have with our swords crossed here. It says here, being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, pretending there is no problem. I like how Radleigh Valentine's cards typically have this extra insight here right on the card. And again, when you're reading in a reading, you may pick up on something that's written here and it will click and make sense. If not, you might pick up something in the imagery and then you'll go off of that. So it really is what your intuition is drawing your eye to. Okay, so that's all I have for the Two of Swords. In our final section, we'll be going over the Two of Pentacles. If you're following along in our tarot workbook, you can turn to the Pentacles section and find the page for the Two of Pentacles. The first thing we'll notice when we look at the Two of Pentacles is this man is dancing while juggling. He's juggling two coins connected by this infinity symbol. This is representing endless flow and adaptability. Behind him, ships ride these high waves, symbolizing life's ups and downs. Despite the chaos, he maintains his rhythm. This is suggesting the importance of balance, multitasking, and grace under pressure. The zodiac signs that go along with the pentacles are the earth signs. And in this case, our zodiac sign for the Two of Pentacles is Capricorn. And the planet in this Capricorn energy is the planet of Jupiter. So this energy is all about practical expansion through discipline, balancing ambition with responsibility, and then this growth through consistent effort. If you ask a yes or no question and the Two of Pentacles shows up, the answer is maybe or this conditional yes. So success is dependent on maintaining balance and flexibility. The numerology for the Two of Pentacles is the number 2. And number 2 is balance and adaptability in the material world. So in this specific card, it's all about managing dual responsibilities. So this work-life balance, income or expense, and this effort or reward. If the Two of Pentacles shows up in the upright position, the keywords are going to be balance, adaptability, time management, flexibility, prioritizing what matters most to you, and then financial flow. Remembering that the Pentacles is that 3D material gain and finances. If the Two of Pentacles shows up in the reverse and you're choosing to read reversals, the keywords are imbalance, overwhelm, chaos, disorganization, financial strain, or burnout. If the Two of Pentacles shows up in a career or finance reading, the upright position could mean juggling multiple jobs, projects, or finances, as well as staying adaptable and managing change gracefully. If the Two of Pentacles shows up in the reverse in a career or finance reading, this could indicate overload, poor time management, or this instability. It could also indicate that your finances may need closer attention as well. If the Two of Pentacles shows up in a love or romance reading, the upright position could mean balancing relationships with other life demands and this playfulness and flow within the partnership. If it shows up in the reverse in a love or romance reading, this could indicate feeling neglected or out of sync with your partner. It could also indicate this work-life imbalance that's impacting your connection. Moving on to the connections to other cards section, the Two of Pentacles is also tied to the High Priestess, card number 2. So she balances spiritual forces while the Two of Pentacles balances physical realities. So it's this tangible act of staying in flow amidst life's demands. Now we'll take a look at some other tarot decks and see how the Two of Pentacles shows up. We have our Angel Tarot cards by Radleigh Valentine. In this deck, we have the Two of Pentacles known as the Two of Earth. And we have what looks like a fairy here with wings. Instead of 2 things that she's juggling, she's actually balancing this orb up here. Inside this ball, she has 2 coins or discs. I love the lush greenery here, this earth element. At the bottom, it says, too much going on at once. The need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. I like how they use the fairy here for that playfulness and the rainbow. There does seem to be some chaos indicated in this imagery as well. In our next deck, we have the Wild Reflections Tarot deck. I love the picture in this deck. We have a woman here on a bike balancing, trying not to fall over while she's juggling 2 options, or in this case, the pentacles are these beautiful sunflowers. I do like how they kept the infinity symbol here to show this cycle, this constant flow of energy. I like how they kept the water here as well in the background, showing this idea of going with the ebb and flow of life. And she's rounding this corner. Very nice. And the last deck I have is the Guardian Angel Messages Tarot by Radleigh Valentine. And in this deck, the Two of Earth has this young girl here standing, balancing on this wooden fence. She has the infinity symbol here on her sweatshirt, which I do like. And behind her, she does have the boat floating. I love these butterflies here. So again, if you are reading and using this deck, you could use these and what butterflies mean to you. Use your intuition to gather more from your reading. So the butterflies here are definitely indicating transformation. We have balance, prioritization, and playfulness. I like how the butterflies too are indicating that they're not going to let her fall. I notice both coins are established here and she's going between them, but in a very playful way. Very nice. Okay, so that's all I have for the Two of Pentacles. In our next lesson, we'll take a deep dive into the number 3 and how it shows up among each of the 4 elements in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. All right, thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one.